to inform Jackson Lee, if she happens to actually listen to this, which she's probably too chicken to. But just want to educate her on one little thing. Look at the history of the founding of the National Rifle Association. Why was it founded, Miss Jackson Lee? Why? I'll tell you why. You can look it up and you can confirm or deny. You can use that brain, knock it against the wall a couple of times. Maybe your brain cells will click together and actually work for a millisecond. And look up the history and confirm or deny if what I say is true. The National Rifle Association was founded after the Civil War because some jackmunch racists wanted to keep black citizens from having the Second Amendment rights as guaranteed by the Constitution and equal protection under the law and under those same rights that was guaranteed by the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution. That is why the NRA was founded. So the NRA evidently is not racist. Gun rights are not racist. If you're going to say it's racist because so many blacks are denied firearms, why are they denied? Those who are denied firearms are denied them because they're convicted felons, not because of the color of their skin, but because they were stupid and broke the law. Yes, they got caught, which is the second stupid thing they did, but it's the easiest way to not get caught doing a crime is not to do the crime in the first place. And that has nothing to do with skin color and everything to do with them making a bad choice. Those who have not made those bad criminal choices have their rights. How dare you, Jackson Lee, try to tell your people, if you want to call them your people, well, they're your constituents, regardless of race, creed, or color. How dare you tell your constituents they're not allowed to exercise their Second Amendment rights? And if you read that, even denying open carry, the Texas laws themselves, if you really look at it, are violations of the Second Amendment. They're infringements on a citizen's right to keep, that is own, and bear, that is carry, arms. Well, there you have it, Miss Jackson Lee. From one Texan to another, from one immigrant from outside of Texas, who's now a Texan, to another immigrant to Texas, who is now a Texan. So, I've gone off on my little Second Amendment rant and soapbox, and twice now I'm dealing with Jackson Lee. But she's just, I'm glad that she is the representative for Houston instead of Shannon Watts, because Shannon Watts actually has a brain and uses one once in a great while. Usually not, but she uses it a heck of a lot more than Jackson Lee, which could be dangerous to the rights of Americans. But staying on the same Second Amendment kind of trip here, we've got a couple of other things to talk about. For those who weren't really paying attention, Chili's, in some locations, it's up to their managers whether or not they're going to throw out people who are open carrying or concealed carrying, for that matter, because Chili's actual policy is they kind of sort of ask people, please don't, but they have not posted any what we call in Texas 30-06 signs. And those are the signs that are the legal size, shape, and carry the proper legal wording to prohibit firearms on a commercial property. Sorry, my T's are running away today. So they don't have those signs, so they're not forbidden. They're not restricted. So people are carrying into Chili's, and Chili's is not necessarily asking them to leave unless they're making jackasses out of themselves, and they should ask anybody who's making a jackass out of themselves to leave regardless of whether they're carrying or not. Well, that kind of came under fire. How dare Chili's provide such an unsafe environment because somebody has a holstered handgun? In fact, I've heard of cases of people wearing cast iron or die cast toy pistols, cap guns, into there, and just to see people's reaction of being all, how dare they? It's a toy, you idiot. But anyway, the latest attempt to segregate the lawful population from places of business that Shannon Watts and her group of squawking hens, along with the Bloomberg jerks, the mayors against illegal guns. Hey, I'm against illegal guns, but the lawful ones, leave alone, jackass. Quit trying to make ones that are illegal now. Anyway, that entire group is, they still go as MDA, but they're kind of changed their name to Everytown for gun sense. Yeah, my town's for gun sense. Don't point it at something you don't want to shoot. Don't put your finger on the trigger unless you want to shoot. Always treat a gun as it's loaded. There's gun sense. If you're not at home and you leave your guns at home, lock them up so some jackass doesn't steal them. Teach your kids about safety. Rule number 1, don't touch it. It's not a toy. You know, that's gun sense, but that's not what they want to talk about. Anyway, their latest little campaign here coming out of Everytown and MDA is, well, they're doing the same thing they've done with several other groups like Target, Walmart, Starbucks. They're now trying to tell the Kroger affiliated grocer chain, which is actually a nationwide chain. In Arizona, they're called Fry's. And I'm not sure what their name is in Texas. I don't know if it's Kroger or a different name, but it's Kroger down in Georgia and southern Illinois. I know that for a fact as well. But they've been, Shannon Watts and Bloomberg has been getting their useful idiots together and doing their little letter writing campaign to Kroger, telling them, how dare you let people who are carrying firearms legally come into your place of business? Well, Kroger, at least at this point, isn't going the way that Chipotle and Sonic and Target and Smack in a Box have gone and said, please don't bring them in. They've kind of said no to Shannon Watts. In fact, Kroger spokesman Keith Daly told Shannon Watts to sack off. S-A-C-K. Daly said, millions of customers are present in our busy grocery stores every day, and we don't want to put our associates in a position of having to confront a customer who is legally carrying a gun. We know that our customers are passionate on both sides of the issue, and we trust them to be responsible in our stores. So rather than pointing out the please don't, they put a we ain't getting involved. If they're obeying the law, let them obey the law. Respect each other. You're on our property, be respectful. If you're going to go and scream, ah, that person's got a holstered weapon. It's holstered. They're not brandishing it. Kick them out. You're probably going to get your butt thrown out of Kroger because you're the one causing the problem, not the person legally and lawfully carrying. And of course, like I said, Kroger is down in Georgia, and Georgia recently got rid of a number of their infringements to the Second Amendment, starting to head closer towards the constitutional carry laws like they have in Arizona, Alaska, New Hampshire, and where every state should be. So a lot more people are open carrying in Georgia, and of course Kroger being down there. Well, MDA is going to go down there, and Shannon Watts is going to squawk like the hen, making the same noises over and over and over again, having her little clucking hens club doing the same thing. Look, gun. Yeah, as a person brandishing it, as a person threatening anybody with it, as a person even threatening to pull it out. Have they even said a word to you other than, do you know what aisle the toilet paper is in? Yeah, think about that. They haven't used the gun in a threatening manner at all. It is just sitting there, just in case somebody else does something threatening to them or one of their fellow citizens. Yeah. Why would you want to leave the people defenseless? So Shannon Watson, Bloomberg, and all these other idiots like Jackson Lee and Eleanor Norton, and of course head out to the Socialist Soviet Republic of California and talk to Barbara Boxer and Feinstein and Waxman. Is Waxman even still in office? Thank God I haven't heard anything come squawk out of his mouth recently. Talk about an ugly person, both inside and out. But Feinstein, she's another one. It's an assault rifle. Really? Who did it assault? Well, it could. It looks mean. Honey, that's an airsoft rifle. It's not loaded. It's out of batteries. And it's locked in a case. Don't see it hurting anybody. Now, somebody may pick it up and use it as a tool and give somebody a couple of welts or swing it like a baseball bat, but it by itself doesn't hurt anybody. Oh, by the way, it's an airsoft. She's another loopy one. How she keeps getting reelected, I don't know. All I can think is that her constituents are dumber than she is. But at least Feinstein is smarter than Jackson Lee. I've actually heard some things come out of Feinstein's mouth that I somewhat agree with. A rare occasion, but it happens. Anyway, that's kind of our Second Amendment rant for the day. Kind of ongoing Second Amendment rant. Because, of course, getting back to closeout where we started the show, is that whole thing in Ferguson. Of course, they're making it a racial thing, causing a racial divide. But the other sort of issue that's coming out is that it's a Second Amendment issue. They're even trying to say that it might be bad for the cops to be carrying their firearms, or they should have to call in and get permission to pull them in a situation. They shouldn't be left to make up their own mind because they have guns. Those nasty, evil, inanimate objects that don't do anything unless you touch them. Ooh. Yeah, just like I mentioned yesterday, we even had that so-called journalist who didn't bother to do his own research, who started going through and posting pictures of earplugs, foam rubber earplugs, on Twitter and Facebook, and saying, "Look, rubber bullets." God. Before people open their mouths on some kind of a trying to bring some kind of a bias or trying to toast some kind of political stance or what have you, and they want to sit there and try to push their issue, they may want to settle down for a couple of seconds and do some research and look at some facts before they go off half-cocked in some over-emotional response and make themselves look like a bigger idiot than they are, or let people know that they're a bigger idiot than we thought they were in the first place. Well, folks, today has been packed with 3 big issues. Have no military news for today, but this is our the end of our Tuesday show. Haven't got any calls yet either today. So it's looking like we're going to kind of take a couple extra minutes for ourselves this morning. So you go and take a couple minutes for yourself, get that extra couple of sips of coffee, make sure you roll up those sleeves, do some good work. It is only Tuesday. Tomorrow's hump day, not today. And get that work done for the week so that you can enjoy your weekend and enjoy the fruits of your labors, because that's what it's all about, folks. That's why we work so hard, so we can enjoy what we've earned. So, with that, we'll see you right back here tomorrow from 8 to 9 a.m. Central Time. This has been your host, Paul-Gregory Matuszak, and the Mouth of Matuszak Show. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.